Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video. This is Champion 2D Rob back again. How you doing, guys? And I thought this time I would showcase all the latest import Saturn games that I've picked up. I've got 8 titles here, basically games I've accumulated over the last few months. Some good titles here, so let's just get right into it, guys. Now, I've been sort of slowly but surely picking up some Japanese Sega Saturn games. No sort of real big titles. I mean, there's a couple of big titles here, but not like anything super crazy. Just games that really interested me, and I wanted to add into my collection. As far as the collecting goal for the Japanese Sega Saturn, there is an end goal. I have a few more. I've got a few more titles that I do want to get. There's only about a handful left, and then basically I'm done for the Saturn. I don't want to be sort of continuously buying games. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be getting many shooters, just because the prices on them are like insanely crazy. There are a couple of like expensive games I do want to add to the collection. One's a beat 'em up, and the other one is a fighter. So I'm hoping to add those at some point, but they are very expensive, so I'm holding off for the time being. Actually, no, there's a couple of fighters actually, but one's particularly expensive. One is just expensive. But in terms of the shooters, I don't see myself jumping there, because it's not a genre that really speaks to me that much to the point where I'm willing to shell out for it. I would love to add them, of course, but I just don't see myself spending that kind of money on them. I love shooters, but I don't love them that much. Anyway, guys, so I've got 8 titles here, some cool games, so let's just crack on with it. And the very first title here, and this is a game that I actually bought from another YouTuber, Shock16. Adam, how you doing, brother, if you're watching? And this was a title that I actually bought just before Christmas, but unfortunately it sort of got held up in the post, and at the time we thought it was lost, but it did eventually show up, thankfully. But I couldn't play it in time for Christmas, which was a bit of a bummer. And that game is, of course, Christmas Nights. So yeah, I wanted to add this one since I do have the original Nights as well. Yeah, I mean, this is basically a demo, a sort of specialized demo of Nights. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this already, and no spine card, but you know, I got it for a really cheap price off Adam, but it's just a sort of nice one to have, really. I mean, if you're gonna have Nights, you need Christmas Nights, in my opinion. So chuffed to have that one. Next couple of games here. First one I got is Panzer Dragoon. Kind of a must-have, really, if you're gonna collect for the Saturn. I've actually, the first time I really played Panzer Dragoon was actually the remake that came out very recently, and I quite enjoyed it. So because of that, I sort of wanted to go back and get the original as well. This one does come with a spine card, so chuffed to bits with that. Not super expensive, but I think it's definitely one of those games that you just need to have. And of course, yes, I do have Panzer Dragoon 2 as well. Does this one come with spine card? No, it does not. No spine card. But yeah, really chuffed to get this one as well, because I hear this one's a lot better than the original. So yeah, chuffed to add this one as well. Next one I have here is Manx TT Superbike. Now, this is actually a title that I've wanted to get for ages, because I do remember this game back in the arcade, and I know it's not great on the Saturn, unfortunately, just due to the controls are a bit fiddly. They do say that if you use the analog pad, that the game plays a little bit better. Unfortunately, it's a little bit twitchy with the D-pad, but in any case, you know, this is definitely one I'm glad to have. And I just love these Sega arcade games. You know, they just really do it for me. And this is one that's just exclusive to the Saturn. And yes, it does come with spine cards, so happy with that. But yeah, yeah, great game, in my opinion. Next one, now this game here was a bit of an odd one. This was not one that I was planning to get. In fact, the first time I saw this game, I thought it looked like utter crap. But I don't know why, I found myself just getting more drawn to it. I just kept watching it, the footage of it on YouTube, just kept seeing it more and more. And the more I saw gameplay of it, the more it just began to appeal to me. And then eventually a copy showed up on eBay, and it was going for a really good price. And I thought I would pick it up. And you know what, guys? I actually found myself playing this game quite a bit. It's one of those puzzle platformers, and that is Lode Runner, the Legend Returns. And I'll probably stick some footage up, some gameplay of this, just because it's definitely not a looker. This is not a game that's gonna impress anyone, or you know, well, no Saturn game's really gonna impress people now, but you know what I mean. Like it's one of those games that just doesn't visually look very appealing, especially on a 32-bit system. But the game's just a lot of fun to play, and yeah, I like it a lot. It's just funny. Like at first when I saw it, I was just so dismissive of it, and then the more I watched it, the more I began to like it. And then when I finally got around to playing it, it just really works for me. It really clicked with me. Yeah, just a really good game. And yep, it does come with a spine card as well. So chuck with that. Next game here. Now this is a game that I've always wanted to play, even back at the time on the PAL Saturn. So I wasn't sure if this game was even out on the Japanese Saturn, but I'm happy to see that it is. I would like to get the first game in the series as well to complete it, but there's not a lot of copies on eBay, and it is quite pricey as well on the PAL, on the NTSC Japanese format. But this is a good one to have, and that is Bug 2. So this is like a 2.5D platformer, and no spine card. But yeah, this game is, I know a lot of people sort of like it generally gets sort of mixed reviews, the Bug games. Some people like it, others don't. But I don't know why I've always wanted to give these games a go, and but I have to admit though, this game is frustrating as hell, man. Like there's a lot of cheap deaths, but I don't know. Visually I find it very appealing. Overall, I think it's a good game, but I think it is hampered by some cheap deaths, some very frustrating deaths. But I don't know. Maybe some people will disagree with me. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this game. Whether you think it's a very sort of, you know, it's unfairly difficult, or whether I'm just crap at the game. Leave your thoughts below, guys. I'd like to hear it. But in any case, yeah, chuffed to get this one. So yeah. This next one, I'm really glad to get. It was definitely one that was on my list, and I was concerned that maybe it wouldn't play that well because it's one of those games that uses digitized sprites. But I have to say though, once I got a chance to play it, I was pleasantly surprised by the gameplay. It's solid. I was so scared it was going to be like a Batman Forever on the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive, like it was just going to be really stiff, or what's that game called? MK Legends Sub-Zero. That game was, I hated that game. So I was scared it was going to be like that game and just have like really clunky controls. But fortunately it doesn't. It does not. It's actually very playable and actually a really fun game. Sorry, I'll just get on with it, guys. The game I'm talking about is Shinobi Den, also known as Shinobi X, and yeah, really fun one to have. Really do enjoy this game. Is it my favourite in the series? No, it's not. It's not my favourite. I still prefer the Mega Drive games, but this one's really cool though, and I think if you're a fan of Shinobi and you have a Saturn, then this is definitely one you should add into the collection. Yeah, really chuffed to get this one actually. Yeah, fun game. And finally, this is a game that I think a lot of people will agree that it's a must-have for the collection. I've been sort of going back and forth with it, just because I was thinking maybe I should either hold off and buy a PAL copy, or just an emulator on a satiator or something like that, just because this game is very text heavy, even though it's perfectly playable. But I'll get into it once I sort of show it. Anyway, that game is of course Guardian Heroes. Now, as a beat 'em up fan, you know, this has to be in my collection. It's a great game, really playable, really fun. I mean, it's not exactly side-scrolling because you can't just scroll up and down. You have to sort of jump into the foreground, the background. So it's like different layers, and it takes some getting used to. But once you get into the rhythm of the game, it's actually a lot of fun to play. But yeah, this is an awesome game from Treasure, easily one of their best titles. And yeah, I love the game. But the only thing is with the Japanese copy is that this is a very text-heavy game. Story-wise, there's branching paths and stuff like that. And I know some people might disagree, but for me, I feel like I'm missing out on a bit of the game just because I can't get involved with what's going on with the characters and the story, and knowing which direction to take. I'm just sort of playing it blindly really, and so I'm just enjoying the game as a game, but I'm not fully involved in what's going on with the game, which is a bit of a shame. But it's fine. I mean, like, as in terms of just enjoying a good beat 'em up, it's a great one to have, and I would definitely highly recommend getting it either way. I mean, it's not even super expensive to get really, so I think it's worth getting for sure. But of course, you have to understand that there are aspects of the game that you will be missing out on if you go for the Japanese copy. But either way, really chuffed to get this game finally in the collection. And does it have a spine card? No spine card, but it does have a registration card and a pamphlet as well inside. So yeah, that is basically, oops, stuff started falling out. Yeah, so that is basically it, guys. That is my Japanese Sega Saturn games that I have accumulated over the last few months. As to when I'll buy more games, I'm not too sure. You know what, guys? I just realised something. There's one more game that I need to get. So
a few moments later.
Anyway, yeah. So there was actually one more Saturn game that I forgot to bring up, and this was actually a gift from another YouTuber, a friend of mine on here. He doesn't really make a lot of content nowadays, but he's always on there commenting, and that is Craig's here again. How you doing, sir, man? Awesome. This is such a nice thing for him to do. He saw me comment on someone else's video regarding one of the games they picked up, and it really interested me. And so he basically got in contact with me and said, "Listen, mate, I've got a spare copy of it. Would you like it?" And it's such a nice thing to do. He decided to send it my way. This is not like a super expensive game or anything like that, but it's just one that I was very interested to play, just because it's a Taito game, and that is Hat Trick Hero S. So this is basically an arcade port of a football game, and yeah, really chuffed to get this one, man. So thank you so much, mate, for this, man. This is such a nice thing to just sort of pass along to me. But it doesn't stop there, man. The man, amazing. Like, on top of that, he decided to throw this in my way, and I'm really chuffed with this. Now this is not Saturn related, it's Super Famicom related, but the fact that he threw this in my way, and it was such a awesome thing that when I received it, I was so happy to get it as well. And that is the soundtrack to Undercover Cops. So that is a really cool extra to throw in, man. I was really chuffed with this. So yeah, really cool. Two really cool items to get from someone. So thank you so much, Craig, for them, mate. I was really chuffed when they arrived. Because especially with the Undercover Cops, I was just not expecting the soundtrack, man. I mean, like, I love the game. Just so you guys know, like, I love Undercover Cops. So really chuffed to get the soundtrack as well, mate. Thank you so much, man. Really do appreciate it. But yeah, that is it, guys. That is basically all there is. So thank you so much for watching, guys. And of course, leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd like to hear what you guys think on any of the games. Have you played any of these games? Let me know what you think of them. And of course, thank you very much for watching. Do appreciate it. I do appreciate everyone that takes the time out to communicate with me in the comment section. So yeah, until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Bye bye.